Hello students of Class 12 Commerce, welcome back to your Business Studies class with your tutor Imtinaro Amri. Okay, so students, today I'm going to take up the Unit 4, that is planning, alright? But before I go further details into our topic, okay, I'll just do a quick review on the Unit 1, okay? In Unit 1, if you remember, there was a topic called functions of management, right? So under that functions of management, there were 5 points, and there were planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, right? So if you want to understand the concept of what management is all about, then you have to know these 5 functions of a management, all right? So in our today's class, it is all about learning the first functions of the management, and it is about a planning, all right? So to start off, first of all, you have to know what is planning. So here, planning is all about, I'm just going to highlight here, planning is a primary function of a management, all right? So here the word primary, it means that this is the first and the foremost function of a management, all right? In order to start something, in order to set an objective, the organization must have planning first, all right? And it also says it involves thinking in advance regarding what is to be done, all right? So the organization must have to think in advance, okay? It should be a pre-planned of the certain objectives that they want to achieve, all right? And under planning, okay, planning, actually it is necessary, it is very essential, it is required in every level of organizations, okay? There are 3 levels of organizations, that is, top level management, middle level management, and lower level management. So planning is needed in every levels, as well as it is needed in all the departments, all right? Just an example, planning is required in hospitals, right? Big organization like hospitals, institutions. In fact, planning is required, starting from our home itself, right? So planning requires in every level of organization, all right? And you might ask yourself, why does the organization need to do a planning? The answer to that is very simple, because future is unpredictable. Nobody can, predict future, right? That is why organization, it need to plan ahead, all right? So that they will be able to function smoothly in their organization. And also, planning always connects the present position to the future position, all right? Here, Kunz and O'Donnell, okay? In your textbook, Kunz and O'Donnell, they have defined planning as, planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, when to do, and who is to do it, all right? So they have mentioned this planning is deciding in advance what to do, all right? So here, what to do, they are talking about what is the organization objectives, all right? What is the objective that the organization must need to achieve, all right? And how to do it. So here, how to do it is talking about what are the strategies or what are the specific structure that an organization need in order to achieve their goals. And then the next one is when to do it. So here, when to do it means when is the specific time and the date that the organization need to go ahead with their plan, all right? And also the other one is who is to do it. So here, who is to do it, referring to the ones who will take forth the plan, okay? So probably this point, it talks about the top management level will be responsible to go forth and take the planning process, all right? And it also says planning bridges the gap from where we are and where we want to go in the future, all right? So like I mentioned, planning is all about connecting our present position to the future position, all right? So that is what they have defined planning. So moving ahead, we will look into some of the features of planning, all right? So in your textbook, they have mentioned 7 points. The first features is it focuses on achieving goals, all right? So achieving objectives, all right? It focuses on achieving objectives. So the first and the foremost features is to achieve the objectives. So here the objectives is referring to the aims and the target that the organization need to achieve for the future, all right? So when the organization do a proper planning, okay, they'll have to do a proper planning first, then they'll have to set an objectives in order to get the end result, all right? The second one, it talks about a primary function. So primary function, like I mentioned earlier in the earlier part, under planning, planning is the first and the foremost functions of an organization. It is an essential part of the management. Okay, once planning is been set, the rest of the functions will follow up. All right. So first of all, the organization need to plan first, plan the objectives. Then the functions, the other functions will follow up. Okay. The third one, planning is pervasive. Okay, so here when we talk about pervasive, it means that planning is big or planning is massive. All right, why planning is considered as a massive feature? Because planning is needed in all level of management. Okay, in the 3 levels of management, that is top, middle, and lower, all right? In fact, in every department, planning is needed, okay? That is why it is called, planning is pervasive, all right? The fourth point is continuous. So here, planning is a continuous process, means it is an ongoing process, all right? As long as a business enterprise exists, planning will also exist, okay? Just for an example, say that the organization have different plans to achieve, right? So if the organization have already achieved plan A, then the next thing for them to do is to go ahead with the plan B, right? But maybe some uncertain things happened and they fail to achieve plan B. But the organization always have a backup plan. That is, they'll go to the plan C, all right? So that is how they function, okay? So as long as the business enterprise exists, planning will also exist, all right? Futuristic. So planning is futuristic. So now we know that when the organization plan, they always plan keeping in mind that the planning is for the future, right? Because planning is done for a long-term goal, all right? That is why it is known as planning is futuristic. The next point talks about involves decision making. So here, decision cannot be done, okay? Cannot be done without a planning, okay? Decision making is the core principle of a planning, okay? Under planning, decision making must be there. It should be a compulsory, okay? Because whenever there is a decision making, the organization will be able to achieve the end result, all right? And lastly, we have mental exercise. So here, when we talk about mental exercise, do remember that we are referring to the employees, using their mind, okay, imagination, being creative. It's all about mental exercise. So when the organization, they think, they imagine, okay, creative ideas, it pops up, right? So the planning becomes successful when the organizations are able to use their mental exercise, all right? So class, this is where we end the features of planning. So class, we will continue with our next topic, that is the importance of planning, all right? There are 6 points that is mentioned in your textbook. So first of all, we will look to the first point, that it says planning provides direction. Okay, so here direction is very much essential under an organization. Okay, here the managers will direct the employees. Okay, he will direct the employees where they need to go and work into different departments or sections. Okay, the directors will even direct and guide them. Okay, and the managers will even decide, okay, where the employees will go further, and it will decide what are the works that needs to be complete in order to achieve the required goals. The second point talks about planning reduces risks of uncertainty. All right, so here whenever there is a proper planning, okay, whenever there is a proper planning under an organization, it will always reduce the risks of uncertainty. All right, in a sense, they will reduce the risks of loss and risks of unforeseen things. All right, so since future is unpredictable, okay, planning always keeps on, it is always convenient for the organization to plan ahead in order to have a success at the end. The third point is reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. Okay, so this point 2 and 3, they are interrelated with one another. Whenever there is a proper planning, it will always reduce overlapping. Planning will reduce overlapping, okay, and it will also eliminate many useful activities in the organization. Okay. The fourth point is it promotes innovative ideas. So here now we know that innovative ideas is creating new ideas in the organization. So it is a thinking process. Okay, creativity, it is a thinking process. So here the directors are encouraged to think. They are encouraged to think differently and bring out creative and innovative ideas in the organization so that they will be able to achieve the targeted goals. All right. Point 5 is facilitates decision making. Okay, so here decision making. Planning cannot be done. Okay, it cannot be done without having a decision making. All right, decision making, it is the core principle of a planning. All right, why? Because whenever there is a decision making, okay, the organization will obviously have a good end result. That is, they will be able to achieve their objectives. All right, so decision making is the core principle of a planning. So lastly, we have establishes standards for controlling. All right. So this point, it talks about whether the organization is able to achieve their targeted goals or no. Okay. So example, say if the organization, they target to produce 500 computers in a day, right? But they are able to produce only 425 computers in a day. So they have a shortage of 75 computers, right? So in order to avoid that, okay, in order to avoid the shortage in their organization, they will plan ahead, okay, and they will learn from their mistakes. Okay, and when they learn from their mistakes, they are able to come up with better ideas and they are able to achieve their target. All right, that is what standards for controlling means. Okay, so class, we are done for this session. I will continue the rest of the topics in our next class. Thank you.